All right, we are live here with
We are live.
Paulybuck.
Yo,
Yeah,
what's happening?
finally.
Yes, yes. Technical difficulties. That's what happens when you have live streams and you can't edit that stuff out until you hit live, right?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was just my Wi-Fi apparently. So that.
So you need to unplug, run a wire like I do, and just hardwire.
Yeah, I don't have a wired one, but
Hey, look, you went live. I see it on my phone now. So that's about a 3 second delay, maybe 4 second delay. I don't know. So what's
that's not
going
that
on?
bad.
You invited me on your channel, man. What's up?
Just hang around. Simple stuff.
Well, you said you went to a coin show. Did you buy anything at said coin show?
I got 3 cent piece.
You got
Um,
a 3 cent piece,
yeah, I think that's it. It was a while ago, honestly. It was like 2 months ago.
right? You're more of a collector then, right?
Yeah, I do dabble in bullion and silver and gold, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter to me if you shared or not, but you're obviously much younger, right? So that's a good thing.
yeah, almost 18. So
That's what I thought. I figured you're about 18.
yeah, close to it. Um, so
Well, that's it. So do you got friends and stuff like that you guys go to coin shows with, or how's that work?
yeah, I have one friend. He kind of got me into collecting like coins a little bit. We go to shows sometimes. And that honestly like only one other person I know collects coins, but
Gotcha. Let me come in like that a little bit. I look so way back out there. So yeah, that's that. Here we are.
yeah, talking some silver and bullion.
So far, I don't know where we've talked a little bit about it. What
Yeah.
do you Well, you sent me a list of stuff. Why don't you start us off with what you got? What do you want to, what do you got?
All right. So I guess first off is the mint schedule. I'm actually gonna share my screen. I swear, if this like makes something weird again, it's gonna be so annoying. But
Just
hopefully it
so
won't.
everybody knows, we spent the last 15, 20 minutes trying to hear you talk to me.
Yeah, and it was a Wi-Fi issue, so I hope that doesn't happen again. But
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll let you know if I can't hear you.
all right. You
There it
see,
is.
yeah, the flowing hair silver medal, 230th anniversary. That's a long time.
We were talking about the engraver before we went on live here, and how like early late 1700s, not quite 1800s name that is, like just your random, um almost like a 2024 name.
Yeah, like the most basic name ever that you would probably just find someone like
And I'm not
now.
I'm not going to say the name, but anybody watching, if there is anybody watching, or if you watch this back, leave that comment or leave it in the chat if you know the name of the engraver. um what do you think about the price?
Um, I mean, going off just like for is it 1 ounce of silver?
You'll
It
have
doesn't
to
say.
it,
I don't
oh,
think.
it doesn't have specifications yet.
No. So if it is 1 ounce of silver, then obviously that's overpriced. But I guess you're buying it for the like design. So
Well, exactly. Look what they did to the Morgan and Peace silver dollars. They jacked the price up, and that hasn't been an ounce since they started them in 2021. So I'm reading the booklet, and it just says silver metal is struck from 99.9 pure silver, and the coin is 24 karat gold. So, what's that say there? Is that telling us household limit 5?
yeah, 5.
But there's no mintage number yet, right?
I'm not seeing one.
Okay.
It doesn't come out till
In the fall sometime, right?
yeah, October 15th.
October 15th. October 15th. Okay. And does it show the gold coin yet?
Um I'm not seeing it on the schedule yet.
It's on a schedule. It's probably towards the bottom. I just don't know if they have
Oh
the
no, they don't have the image. I
picture.
found it.
No, they don't have the image. So what's that say for? It says probably same thing. What, 5?
Yeah, 5 household order limit.
Yeah, so the booklet, and they're being kind of very, very secretive on the website, which is odd.
Yeah, because you'd think they would want everyone to know about this piece, but
You would think so. Come in. Let's see. Prices and products that contain palladium, gold, and platinum are subject to change because of spot price. Well, we know that much.
yeah.
So, because of spot price is what the U.S. Mint says, of is why the Morgan dollars went up and peace dollars went up, and this thing has gone up. I don't know if they ever showed a starting price. Go to the Morgans. What did those go for? I forget. That's
Um,
the proof coin, so that's 95.
yeah.
What was the ones that just released, and are they still available?
Let's
Probably
see.
are.
$91.
Yeah,
Um,
91. Add to bag.
yeah,
Yep,
so
yep,
they're
yep.
still available.
Still available. So I think those were 83 bucks.
Like when they first released
Even
this
this
line.
year. Yeah, this line up in 2024. I'd have to go back and look at the video I did because that would be the number that was on there. Um but yeah, they jumped up the price and that made some people not so happy, and look where they sit. Now there is a way. I have to go back in my notes to see how many are actually left. I don't know if you know that. How to find that out.
No, I don't.
All right. I have to go back in my notes. I used to do it all the time and had it memorized. It's like you right click. Here, hit your right click quick. Should have a screen pop up. Does it show it?
I'm having a screen pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't show it on our end, so I can't see it. So it's no big deal. I'll forward it to you after we get done if I remember.
All right.
Yeah, so it takes you to like a it almost makes you feel like a little computer hacker, right? So it takes you to like a data screen, and then you got to type in like data dot something, and it pops up how many either sold or how many are left in their hands.
Oh, okay. That is a cool hack, though.
Yeah, it is. Somebody emailed that to me like 2 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and I forget the name, so I apologize.
Yeah, it says there was a limit of 275,000 for the
Yep,
Morgans. So,
yep. So those stayed the same. Go to the proofs. And I don't think they have the reverse proofs up yet.
uh, I don't think so. Yeah, 95. So $4 extra if you want the proof,
Four
which
dollars
isn't
more for the
that
proof.
bad.
No, it's not that bad. I would buy the proof over the uncirculated, but that's just me. But go down to see how many they are. They added to them over 300,000.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And no
300.
mintage limit. So,
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, mintage limit none. That should change unless they plan on doing something else with them, which
yeah.
they could do. That's strange. So 25 household. Go to the reverse proofs. All the way buried at the bottom.
That one has a mintage limit. So,
What's that say? 262 and a half?
yeah.
Okay, so those went up by 12,500 because they were 250,000. A limit of 250 last year. Now, I'm not talking the beginning of this year, though. That was last year's 2023 reverse proof set. They did 250,000 of them. So from last year to this year, they upped it by whatever the difference is, 12,500, and they were $185 now
Wow.
to $215. That went up just like everything else. The only thing I guess I could give them credit for is if you go to the uncirculateds now. Scroll down and then click that last picture
Oh, this one?
underneath the Morgan. Yep. So there you go. They brought back a clamshell box. I'm sure it's I didn't order these. Did you order these at all or no?
No.
No. So I didn't order these either. Um, Basically because of the price increase, I said this isn't right by any means for them to be doing this. It's not even an ounce of silver.
Right.
They're making plenty of money on every one of these coins to begin with. To do that and to give us a box, it was kind of a kick in the you know what.
Yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade from the first year that they made these and how the
Sure.
box is, but
Yeah. And the box looks like the same box, just a different date on it. The cardboard box, so
yeah,
that's going to be the same. It's just it's not a coin there. You pull out a clamshell box,
yeah. I'm sure some people will defend that choice in the price raising, but I
and that's
mean,
fine. But everybody has the right to do that. And then the talk is because who is it? Is it Walt Disney? Walt Disney owns DC Comics. I think I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, my mistake. But they have that thing coming out for the next 3 years with DC Comics and their little chibi things that they're going to be doing.
oh yeah,
I don't know. Do they broadcast that on the the front of the homepage?
they did. They took it off though. Like they put the voting up, but they haven't said any news past that.
Okay, so yeah, they didn't do that. I, we did a podcast on it, and the first three are going to be like the first three that were on the website. I think it
Right.
was Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. That's guaranteed going to be the first three. They wanted our help on the three for 2026 and 2027 because it sounded like it was going to be a 3-year program.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's just too little too late. Will I buy them? Probably, depending on how many they make. Because
Yeah.
it's actually pretty big for the US Mint because they've never done anything like this ever. And if they are coins, definitely, but I just don't see the US Mint making them coins.
Yeah. They're definitely gonna be like,
Space Miner, hello.
hey, Spice, it's just Space Miner. They're probably gonna be silver rounds, is my guess.
Colorized and cut out. Meg W from New York, hello. New Mexico and New York, talk about a flight,
Yeah.
right?
Um. So I mean that is really big news for the mint.
It
Like you
is.
said, they haven't done anything like that from my knowledge. And
They
that's like
won't
a
even make
big
us a 10
collab.
ounce bar, you know?
Yeah.
And I think we've been asking for years and years and years for them to do something like that. But even then, it's the U.S. Mint. They're probably going to overcharge us. So tough to say.
Yeah. Like especially since it's a collab, the prices are going to be higher than if it wasn't a collab. So that's already like,
Oh, take a look at your typical chibi, right? Those are about 100, $110. So if it's and those are coins, by the way. And if it's an ounce of silver and it's not a coin, look at the flowing hair. What was that? 104.
um.
And
Let me find it.
they're making a huge deal out of this.
Yeah, 104.
Which again, it is a huge deal. It hasn't been made in 230 years. Oh, well, you dropped something.
Oh no, that's just my cord. It fizzled
Oh,
or something. It's
fizzled out
fine.
on you. Gotcha. So take a look at that. There you go. I mean, and this was a coin. Now it's a metal, and they're going to give us a gold coin, which it was never made. They do things a little odd to me, but I don't like dogging them because I do like the U.S. Mint. I mean, it's where I'm from, so. And I can't hear you again. This is what happened earlier. Something happened on his end, and now I can't hear him again. Oops.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are, buddy.
Okay. It's the Wi-Fi.
Oh boy. Get better Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah. And we just upgraded it too, so it kind of sucks, but
Dog and bro, they are ridiculous with the prices. So if you were just getting here, I don't know if you were just getting here, you weren't getting here, or you heard us talking. Yeah, no, the prices aren't cool. And I said that that is basically the reason I didn't go with their uncirculated Morgan silver dollars. There's really nothing other than possibly this, what you can see, that excites me from the US Mint this year. And I was excited to continue the Morgan and Peace dollar kind of collection, but then they jumped the price up.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's at some point you got to just say no to them. That's it's hard, but you got to.
yeah, I mean, it's it's just way too much. Like, and especially if you just compare its like value of the metal in it, it's insane.
Right?
I think we lost you.
No, well, can you still hear me or no?
Yes, yes,
All right, so we'll just do this. How's that? I don't
that's
know
good.
what happened. I don't know what's happening there. So there we are.
All right, yeah, I can still hear you. So,
All right, cool, 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 cool. Okay, so what's next from them? It's like a national mint. It's like it's like all national mints, private mints have been doing. They have private mints have been doing pretty good, and I think they're taking advantage of it as well. You know, some of them they are charging much more of a premium because really they can.
it's all national mints. Um, private mints have been doing some excellent work. Yeah, um, that's definitely true. Like, um, what's that one? Um,
What you got?
the dragon ones you did. Where's that from? Is that a
The
private mint?
2 ounce dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, so that company's named Spectres, Spectres, and their website would you'd spell that out .io. They're on Instagram, so they are a private mint. They do excellent work, and they are based out of Singapore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, they do a phenomenal job. Their relief on their high relief on their products are just insane, insane, and how detailed they are.
Oh yeah, I was seeing like the colorized ones. Like they're really just beautiful looking.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay, the mint has then the woman quarters that I think is has one more year ahead of it, and then they're switching. I think to
Yeah, so
something
that was
else.
a 3-year program, I want to say. Was it
Uh,
4?
3 or 4, definitely not 5. So
No, it definitely wasn't 5, and I haven't talked about it in a while. Silvertown Mint USA produced my rounds. They all did. Yeah, well, that's good.
yeah, the so I don't know what they're gonna do next for quarters. I don't know. Like, where do you go?
That's just it. It's not that they're running ideas. They'll have something. They'll definitely have something, especially because you're getting into an anniversary type year for the US Mint. Right, so they'll have quarters for
I
that
mean,
coming out your ears.
they yeah. Um, it could be anything really. Um,
So
but
it just says fall 2024 for the gold coin. What's your price prediction on that?
um, I don't even want to think about that.
Well, let me put it to you like this. Let's see. It is I would only believe that it's going to be a proof coin. And a proof buffalo is $3,240. So figure somewhere right around there. And I lost you again. Maybe I didn't.
No, that's my end. Wi-Fi again. Oh my god.
Hey, just when you got a plan and you want to do something, everything goes wrong. It's all right.
Exactly. Yeah. Um.
It's all good.
Let's see. What else do they got going on for the mint? Morgan, peace dollars. We know that, and then probably the product I hate the most that the U.S. Mint actually releases is these Mighty Minters ornaments.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. Like,
Click on it. What is the go down? There's probably no limit, is there? There's nothing. They
yeah,
just
no
make them.
limit.
What is it, a $50?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
the year. Yeah, so 2024, $half.
Yeah. Yeah. Last one, and I'll be quiet for a bit. Don't ever be quiet. I think historical mints have always memorialized their current history, whereas modern mints memorialize memorials. We need to continue history, not live in it. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they're doing. It's and that's why it's so tough for even myself and many others, I'm sure, to accept and get extremely excited about this DC thing because yeah, they're changing it up and doing something different, but why? Why now?
I mean, it's it's a big deal. It really is.
Sure, it is. Okay, depending on maybe a lot of people are the same way. Depending on price, depending on mintage, is this definitely something that interests you?
Yes, for sure. I'll probably only get one, and
Sure.
also, again, like you said, depending on price. If it's like, I don't even know. If it's reasonable, then I'll definitely pick one up.
And I wonder if it would be one in the spring, one in the fall, or one early, one in the spring, one in the fall. Are they going to do all three all on the same day? Remember when they bombarded us with the Morgans in 2021?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was a lot. That was a lot in a day.
I feel like splitting them up, like you said, would
I think
probably be
make
the
more
best.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Would make more sense. I would hope, anyways.
I mean, if they're all on one day, it's only three, so I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's only three, but if you're talking about collectors and a lot of them, kind of like myself or even you, $300+ is a lot of money you come off of in one day.
Yeah, that really is. I hope they aren't 100 apiece, but that's
I, I don't see why they wouldn't be. I mean, Morgans and Peace dollars, $91. That's short of an ounce.
yeah.
I The flowing hair is I would say is an ounce, and that's $104. And we don't know the mintage on that. I
Right.
gotta say it's probably going to. I don't know. I want to say it's going to be low, but then they'll hit us with like 350,000.
Yeah, I don't even know what to predict. Like, I would think it would be low for something like this, but I don't know.
I think if it's 125,000, they sell out rather quick.
It's going to be like if you're not there like the first like
Oh,
few
they'll
hours, you're
they'll
not
be
getting
using their
one.
waiting room, I'm sure.
Ugh, I hate that waiting room.
Well, it's better than the whole system crashing, so I do give them that.
Yeah.
Is since they changed that, and that goes all the way back to the V75s.
Oh yeah, that was
That
the
was a
like
nightmare.
horrible.
That was a nightmare. Do you have any of those?
No, I don't, but I remember everyone being so mad that like they got kicked out and all this
Yeah.
stuff was going on.
A lot of people were trying to get the gold and ended up getting silver. I've got a silver, but I waited. I waited, and yeah, I paid a lot of extra money for it. But it's a PCGS graded, 70.
Yeah.
It's just tucked in the safe somewhere. I don't even know what they're going for anymore.
I haven't checked. I haven't even thought about them for like years.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice coin to have, and I mean, especially when they do a 100th anniversary. You can expect to probably see a privy on that and all that jazz too.
Yeah. Let's see what else they got. Presidential silver medals for Grover Cleveland.
Hmm.
Um, proof sets. Um, and that's really it from the mint.
Yeah.
Besides the reverse proof set.
And that could change. I mean, it's going to be fall, but once they put a date on it, it'll get shifted around. I can't see that being the last release of the U.S. Mint's product schedule, but it could be, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's a high note to end off on, I guess. So,
Sure, sure.
um, now let's see. I just have to pull up the notes real quick. I guess I'm gonna head over to AppMax.
All
That's
right.
where I check my spot, at
You
least.
do?
Yeah.
I use Kitco, and the only reason I use Kitco now is because a lot of people you talk to, all dealers, everybody basically uses it unless you're your own bullion dealer. And that's kind of what I base mine on. And for the longest time, so I've got the app on my phone, the Kitco app,
Okay.
and I couldn't figure out. You do you got an iPhone?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you know when you get emails and text messages, you got that little red bubble up top, and it tells you how many you have or whatever
Yeah.
missed calls. Okay, so the Kitco Gold app has a red bubble there, and I didn't realize this until it finally sunk in that it is right now it says 2,512. Well, that's the gold spot price right now. And that will change every time spot price changes. I didn't realize that for the longest time. I was trying to figure out how do I remove I was looking at the app thinking, well, where are my messages in this? There's no way I have 2,000 and some odd messages on this app. But that's what it is. It's the spot price.
Yeah, that's Imagine 2000 messages.
Yeah. I'd like to see the U.S. Mint produce a bar coin. That we talked about that earlier too. I would love to see a 10-ounce bar, even a 1-ounce bar, anything. Yes, please.
Yeah, I don't even remember the last time they did a bar, if they have ever.
No.
So, something new, and something that'd be easy too, unlike the DC thing where that's a lot more complicated to, set up and release and all that.
I can't even see the U.S. Mint being the actual mint that makes those, but I could be wrong as well. I mean, that's going to take a lot for them to do something, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Change out some dyes, maybe. Send them to Germanium Mint and have them colorized.
Alright, so on AppMax at least, because I don't even know what like the most reliable source for spot prices is, because there's so many sites.
Yeah.
Um,
Atmex is probably going to be higher. What's it say?
for gold, 2,526, and then silver's 30 and 6 cents. So
Okay, so like I said, Kitco's got it at 25.12 and 29.78.
okay, so like a little, at least with the silver, a little difference. Um,
Still shows it over 30, and then that won't change until what, Sunday at 6.
yeah, I mean, seeing silver over 30 is always nice. Um,
Of course it is.
yeah, I feel like it's been a while since it like has stayed above 30. So
And me and my buddy talked about it. It's the thing is it's staying relatively close to 30.
yeah,
It's gone up and over. It dropped back down, but it's staying within that $2 range or a dollar and change to $30. So that's a good thing when you're stacking metals is that flat line. Yes, everybody wants to see it jump up. Not everybody. I mean, it's nice to see. It's
yeah,
nice to see it jump up. But then it gets a lot of people excited
yep,
that typically weren't excited before, and then they bought in at the high point and they get FOMO, and then they decide to sell and they lose money, and then it's just a big wash, rinse, repeat type cycle with a lot of people.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad like it's steady because it's more secure that way, and like everyone wants to see it be steady because otherwise
Yeah,
problems, like you said.
well, that's just it, and that's kind of one of the big deals why that is staying where it's at, and gold continues to rise, is because of our, economic uncertainties and geopolitical stuff around the world. Is gold is a safe haven, always has been, always will be. I mean, it's the golden rule: he who has the gold makes the rules.
Hmm.
And when times like this are going on, doesn't even have to be in this country but all around the world, you see inflation, just gold shines brighter in times like this. And it's going to continue, in my mind, it's going to continue to climb up to our election and even after our election, because we don't know. It's a mess. We're in a mess like none other.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much uncertainty, and like pretty much just people feel like gold is you can't go wrong with it. So,
You can't. And the thing is, when I have nothing against, okay, so you got the saying, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I completely agree with that. But people in the stock markets are putting their money into paper gold, and this is driving prices up as well, because the stock market is doing crazy things as well. And when you put your money into gold, it's not meant to sit there and make you tons and tons of money. It's meant to sit there and just battle, hedge against any bet you got, hedge against the inflation, hedge against the stock market, hedge against it all. It's a safe haven, and we can keep repeating ourselves. But if anybody takes anything from any of this, is precious metals, doesn't matter, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, is a safe haven for your money. Now, like palladium and stuff, that's done some weird stuff. Platinum's been on the rise. I really don't know where that's at right now.
let's see. Platinum's just above 1,000 and 1,000 and no, never mind. That's palladium. Platinum is 980.
Yeah, see, I always thought platinum below 1,000 is a good bet in my eyes, for me. And it's not like I buy tons of it, but it is nice to see it because it can get up and over, no problem. It's
Yep.
done it and it can continue to do it. Um, when it drops down, yeah, it's nice to see that as well. But it's all, I'm not going to say a gamble. I'm not going to say a risk. It's all in how you feel. And precious metals should be always be about a store of wealth for yourself, for your future, for your family's future, as in money, fiat that you don't need. Like when people see prices, yeah, platinum below 1,000 discount, exactly. When people see prices like this, they tend to get the FOMO, like we spoke about, the fear of missing out, and they will get themselves into debt buying precious metals, which precious metals is not supposed to put you into debt.
Yeah.
It's there in case of an emergency. Other than that, just let it collect dust. Buy
Yep.
it. If it's collectibles, sure, display them. If it's bullion, let it collect dust and forget about it.
That's
Just,
honestly what I do. They're just in my safe right now.
yeah,
Just sitting there.
that's all you have to do. I mean, it's no different. The difference is this, and I had to explain this to my wife before too, and I've actually sold a good chunk when gold got up to its one of its first all-time highs, broken record, up over 2,400, because we've got all this quote unquote money sitting in the safe. But I had to show her that I could turn it into the stuff that she's used to seeing. She's used to seeing numbers on a receipt, numbers on a phone, digital stuff, cash in her hand, which is all good things, but she couldn't see it sitting in the safe in the form of silver bars and gold coins. So I did what I had to do just to prove to her that, look, this is how it works.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess I can see how it would be hard to imagine that.
But within my rambling there, that's where that's the point I want to touch on, is the if you don't hold it, you don't own it type thing. Is if you've never done it, sold physical metals, you could be in for a little bit of heartbreak depending on what you've been buying and the price that you've been buying it at, and where you have the means to get rid of it, whether it's your coin shop, whether it's a pawn shop, whether it's selling to a bullion dealer like you have brought up there at Mex. These places are going to pay you spot or below for your metals because they are in a business to make money. They are not in the business to lose money. And how they make money is buying metals cheap off of people in need. You could have bought a Superman coin from APMEX for $47, get it in the mail, turn around and try and sell it to them, and you'll get a few dollars over spot.
I
And I
mean,
would and
yeah.
I would stamp that guaranteed.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this lately. Like, what you buy at, it's unless the metal rises, it's almost impossible to get it there. Like, I'm trying to think of anyone who would pay above spot for something like that if it's not a collectible, if it's just normal bullion. Like,
Right. And I've been a firm believer and I'm not gonna say spokesperson, but something like that for fractional gold. Fractional gold, 1/10 ounce, quarter ounce, what have you. I don't go below the 1/10 ounce. But everything I've bought in the past is worth more than what I paid for it back then, obviously, right? With gold where it's at.
yeah.
And that just proves that anybody who is against buying fractional gold because of the extra premium, where you might buy a 1 ounce gold coin for 3, 4, 5% premium, and you'll pay 15 to 20% for a 1/10 ounce gold coin. Yeah, that premium's hard to swallow. It is, but you're putting gold away. And that's the name of the game. And if you wait, like precious metals, you have to eventually, not all the time, but eventually you should see that premium come back into the plus side in your safe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a waiting game, and, if you find the right time to buy and then the right time to sell, that's amazing.
That's again, I got myself caught up, but that's where that paper market comes into play. You can hedge your bet with precious metals, physical precious metals with that paper. That stuff is traded weekly, hours of the day, easy to get rid of. If that stuff is there for you to get rid of and do something with. Physical stuff is meant to hold. And if you're buying it and selling it quicker than you can save it, that's something to think about when it comes to, are you even ready to stack precious metals?
Yeah, like Space Miner is saying that, like, it worked for them, like, when they held on to their gold, and that just works. And, well, not always, depends on the markets, but you can't just buy, like, let's say, a fourth ounce of gold and then sell it a week later and expect to get,
No,
like, a gain.
no. And that's what happens with new folks. I've said this before as well on our podcast. I live in a rural area in the thumb of Michigan, and my local radio station of all places is telling spot price for gold and silver every hour on the hour. Well, it's every hour on the half hour. They do the news every half hour or whatever, but every hour. So that just tells me that it's being talked about everywhere, and it's getting interesting to everybody because of the uncertainty in the world.
I mean, that's kind of crazy that they're talking about that. I would never have thought that.
It's just a real clip, a real quick clip of a noise, whatever they play, and they say spot gold prices, da da da, spot silver prices, da da da.
All right, so Edwin asks, where do you see 90% in the future?
Well, the same place, depending on how far the future is, the same place I see it to my left. I've got a leather sack over here, and it's got 90% silver in it. I don't. I I guess I just don't see a world where we're going to need it for barter. Yes, people do it every day. People do barter with silver and gold every single day. I don't think you're going to see the end of the world coming, and because you have pounds and boxes of half dollars and dimes and war nickels and quarters, that you're going to be the ruler of the world. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean
At least
it's
in my
good.
future, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean I like 90% and stuff, but I won't go out my way to buy them if I find them. That's great, and I'll never like not keep that, but I don't go
Yeah.
out my way to buy that stuff.
I really don't either. It's I used to do a lot of, even before I started my YouTube channel, I used to do a lot of hunting, and then I was introduced to some channels, and I never did record any of it because I just said, who wants to sit around and watch me go through change, right? And apparently people do like to watch people go through change, so it is what it is. But with my kids, my sons and daughters, or son and daughters, we just go through it and keep what we find and go from there.
Yeah, I mean I just and like 75 too. No one's gonna be buying that. Like I was at like I told you the coin show, and
Yeah,
one of the dealers was like, "Yeah, no one wants to buy that. Like, you know, it's just not desirable."
gotcha.
I mean, there is a market for it, but it's not as big as if you were to just go buy an ounce of silver.
Sure, sure. But yeah, I mean, it's cool stuff. It's all got a history, you know.
Yeah,
It's like every Morgan or Peace dollar I hold, basically Morgan, really. But it's, you just sit back and you think of, okay, where was it? Who had
yep.
it? Where'd it come from? It's just all that stuff that just turned to paper is, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, like pretty much any coin that's not very modern, there's some sort of history, and it's just like that's some of the value too, not just like what it's made
Well,
out of.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It goes off of obviously the condition of it, how many were actually minted,
Yep.
so on and so forth. I actually gave up my sister-in-law has my red book. I usually have it on the desk here. I was going to go through some numbers, but I forgot. I gave it to her because she found a bunch of stuff she wanted to look up. I said, "Go ahead, take it."
That's that's good though.
Yeah,
Getting other people into it.
sure.
Let's see. I just have to pull up the notes real quick. I
Cord's
guess.
getting goofy again.
Oh, my cat is on it. Ugh. Okay, come on. Okay. So kind of bouncing off what we were talking about, like Spot in the future.
Yeah,
Um, how do we think each, what do you call them, like person running for president? I don't know.
candidate.
Yeah, candidate like Kamala versus Trump. Like, how do we think each of them is going to affect either like gold or silver or just Spot in general?
It's tough to say because you look where Democrats have us now, and the stock market is uncertain. Precious metals are up. Trump's in office. The stock market looks great. Precious metals are lower because people are investing more money in the Wall Street stock markets and making a killing doing it. It's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of whether people like the stock market or they don't like the stock market, depending on what kind of job you do for a living. So mine, for instance, I'm a utility worker and I work for a union, and 20 years of my pay has been put into the trust of someone handling my money, and there's probably at least 1,200 other men and women like me just in our union hall that our money is tied up in the stock market, which for people to have that, I guess, trust, because it's a benefit for us working. Every hour we work, money gets put in, but it's also a gamble. It's all zeros to me until I hit a certain age and I'm able to say, okay, I've had enough of this. Let's take it out and put it somewhere safe, because now it's mine. I can take it. I can move it to another fund penalty free. But once I start drawing it, that's when, the tax man comes knocking.
Oh yeah.
Um, So there was a quarter in one of Trump's 4 years, and I forget which one it was, but I've never seen a quarter like it ever. My plan made me 13.22% in that one quarter, and that was the best I've ever seen. There's been quarters under the Democrats that I've seen negatives, and that is terrible. It's an absolute heartbreak when you open up that statement and the money you put in and any type of interest that should have been collected is all gone. And I'm talking thousands of dollars of hits,
Oh wow.
tens of thousands. But again, it's to me, it's all zeros at that point because I don't hold it,
Yeah.
right? I don't own it because I don't hold it. I'm
Yeah.
working for it. I'm working for it every hour and expect it, but I really don't expect it because just the way things are. So with that said, there's pros and cons to both of them depending on what market you're in.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends if you're stock or if you're like all in the metals. So
Our uncertainty here is basically our southern border, and until we get it under control, that's where it's going to be. Another uncertainty here is the money being spent on the war in Ukraine. That's a lot of
oh
money.
yeah, I forgot about that.
That's a lot of money we're sending over there, and it's doing nothing but hurting this economy.
Yeah, there's honestly like we keep saying uncertainty because that's really all it is. There's no way we can
We
like
don't
have a
control it.
solid prediction. Yeah, and yeah, it's all the government. So
It's yeah, it can be very very messy. Um, you want being president to me is like you want to be just smooth. Like I know you're young, but just there's been times where, yeah, the president might not be doing the right things in the office, but the economy's great, jobs are great, unemployment's low, and the stock market's doing good, and all that great stuff. But he's messing with an intern, as a married man.
yeah, yeah, it's a mixed bag. Like I don't know. I mean, I haven't been around for that many presidents, but I feel like there hasn't been like someone who's just perfect, you know, and that.
it's it's bad because politics have gotten just out of control. You look at these bills. You look at the people that are elected, right? That sign these into law. It's never just one thing. Okay, we want money to send Ukraine because they're an ally and we need to help them. They need money, so on and so forth. Okay, well, so and so from Georgia wants this for their state. So and so from Kentucky wants this for their state. So and so from Maine wants this for their state. And we'll make all this happen if we can get all this extra stuff to go along with it. It's never just what it's supposed to be, it's always extras. And I don't care if they're red, if they're blue, they're all the same bird, just a different wing. It's That's how messy it is. It's never a handshake. Yep, let's just do it. It's always something extra.
That would be so nice.
Somebody's got to get an upper hand on somebody always, and it's a mess.
Yeah, I
Pork
mean,
fat, riders, amendment, filter, fluff. Right. Exactly. Exactly. The
hopefully we'll
fluff.
see that stuff in the future though, that everything's just a handshake, but you know.
Well, it's very tough, and you got to be 35 years old to become president. There's other stipulations. You have to live in the USA for so many years, and you got to be born here, right? So somebody can be born here, and they can move out of the country come back, live here for a certain amount of years. I forget what it is, 13 or 14 years. I forget right off the top of my head. And then they're 35 years old. They can become president. But we don't have an age limit on when you can't be a president. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
there's a retirement age in this country that everybody shoots for, and it's right around anywhere from 62 to 65 years old. Me, if you're over 65 years old, you've got no business being in that office. Period. I don't care who you are, and that goes for everybody else we vote in Congress that is just a lifetime politician. Again, I'm not getting into any sides because I am pretty much a middleman. I can see both sides. I can be friendly with the left and I can be friendly with the right. I'm my own person, and that's the way everybody should be. This world just needs everybody to be themselves, their own person, and not try and push somebody else's agenda, because it's not even their agenda that's being pushed onto everybody else. It's somebody else's agenda. Just be your own person, stick to the Constitution, and let's just keep living free as long as we can.
Yeah, let's just be civil, is what there's so much just like, I don't know, just not good stuff that's
No, and you're
happening.
and you're just getting started in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be able to vote, so this is all new for me, and I gotta like learn a lot now because it's now something that I can partake in.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and I've talked to my kids about it and everything like that. It's you have to figure the stuff out on your own and try and read between the lines of they're all gonna BS you, and it's not always the better man or woman we shouldn't be, as a country right here, we shouldn't be in a position to where we have to vote for someone because they're the better of two evils. And I've heard that so many times.
Oh yeah, I've been
we
hearing.
we
Yeah,
shouldn't have to vote for any evil, and that's the problem with politics, is they're all evil and they're all looking for themselves.
I mean, yeah, that's really it's insane, and we need an honest person, but you know they're all sneaky in
Well,
some way.
Abraham Lincoln got killed years ago, and they used to call him Honest Abe.
Well, now he's on our coins, so.
Yeah, no doubt. So realistically, with the question, it just depends. It just depends on how it goes. Like I said, whether you're in the stock market or you're in the physical market, one's going to do better than the other depending on who's in office.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I guess what would you say about if you have a certain amount you're gonna save and you split some into the stocks and split some into metals? Is that like a sustainable way, or is that like a bad idea?
I would put, let's just say you had whatever percent, well, whatever number amount you have, right? If it was me, it would be either 60-40 or 80-20. Physical, the higher number, the other number into your market. As far as gold and silver
Okay.
is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any other thing. I buy Apple, I buy Tesla, I buy Bitcoin, I buy gold, I buy silver, I buy physical gold and silver and some platinum. These are things, and then everything else, I have no clue what it's in. It just sends me a statement and I could probably get a breakdown of what is the large cap, small cap, real estate, exactly what these companies are. I've just never bothered to. That's my work, retirement.
Oh, okay.
But that's me. So that's what I do.
All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this will probably be our last topic since we're almost coming up on an hour.
Right on.
Um. So now this is kind of more if you have already bought bullion that is not slabbed or not graded or anything like that. You just buy it.
Okay.
Should you get it graded?
Regular bullion.
Any kind of bullion that can be graded by like PCGS, NGC, anything like that.
New stuff, I wouldn't recommend it unless it had some type of error. to then you want to get that air certified, and it really at that point it doesn't matter about the grade. You're certifying the air on the coin, I guess. Um, but you get into if you get into collectibles, are you getting into collectibles or just regular bullion like maple leaves and eagles and Krugerrands and all that good stuff?
Well, I mean, at least for me, I've bought some slabbed and I've kind of regret it just because it's so much higher
What
priced.
give me one that you bought. What was it?
Um, the Year of the Ox silver round from like 2021. I got that from APMEX. That was pre-graded.
At what? 70?
Um, no, it wasn't that much.
No, 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 the grade.
Oh, I think it was like 68, 69.
68, 69. Gotcha. Um Again, so that's personal preference. It's something like that, especially in a 68 or 69. Realistically, it's the grading scale was made like if you got a 70, it was supposed to be 70 times the face value now that coin is worth. This was the point of it. And I think it started with pennies, the Sheldon system. I think it started with grading pennies. So it was that was the reasoning behind it. So you take a 68, right? And it's a dollar coin, so it should be worth $68. Could you sell it for $68 right now?
Probably not.
No, probably not. And grading fee right now is about 35 or $40, and that's without having your membership. And I pay for NGC membership, but I forget what that is. That comes out once a year. So per coin, that's that. And Year of the Ox, what year was that?
21.
21. So even then, the coin itself, just raw, was probably $27. So 27 and your 35 for grading, you're looking at 50, 67. Yeah, there you go with my math. Um, that's $42. No, $62 with grading and the price of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the appeal, but after I've done it once, like I haven't actually sent any of my bullion off to grading. Like, I've only graded sent one coin off to grading. I mean, it was fine. Nothing went wrong. It's just
Yeah,
a lot of money, a lot of time.
it is.
It's yeah. I don't find it like if you really want to just learn about grading, and you don't need to be 100% accurate to
No,
find out what the value could possibly be. So I think it can be good, like you said, for errors or like I don't know, more rare low mintage coins. But besides that, I think
exactly.
you can just keep
And
them raw.
and backdate stuff. If you're buying Morgan and Peace dollars from a coin shop, most likely those aren't going to come back with that great of a grade. Maybe 63 if you find a good one, because if it was gradable, they would have sent it in ahead of graded. Now, if you hit an estate sale and you see some of these nice looking coins, yeah, it might be worth it if you get them at a decent price to send them in and have them graded and get some decent grades back. That's going to increase the value of said coin. And it all depends the mint mark and all that great stuff. But um to a collector of a certain year style of a Morgan, if they have a 63, their next upgrade is 64, and it's just something people tend to do is they like to get the next grade higher and the next grade higher, or complete a set of date set of MS 63 Morgans, something like that. So starting off, no, I wouldn't say buy stuff like that. But it's always good to test the waters, buy a couple of them, and then see how you feel afterwards. If you're like, this wasn't that great, or you may really enjoy it, and it's yours. You get to show off to whoever you want to show it off to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did basically test the waters. And yeah, it does give value, but when I bought that, I feel like I was paying for the plastic. And I hear a lot of people say that, and I kind of felt that way, especially since it was bullion and you're mainly unless you're collecting a certain um
And you bought it from
like
Atmos.
line. Yeah, and um it's just you should be focusing on the metal, not like the extras.
Sure. I agree with that 100%. Focus on the metals, not the extras.
And then if you got the money, then of course, if you want to go for it. I mean, whatever floats your boat, you know.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, my friend.
So Space Miner said, if I was new to precious metals and wanted to diversify, I would stay away from numismatic coins and stuff and aim at buying different metals to diversify. I mean, I started copper stacking and it's whatever. I kind of regret it, but you know, I'm just not gonna buy anymore. I'm just gonna hold what I have. Um,
Yeah, copper takes a lot. I mean, you got to have a lot of room to stack a lot of it away.
yeah, I probably have like 20 ounces, and I'm already like done with it.
Yeah, and see, I mean, they pay by the pound too, so it's
Yeah, I have like this massive copper rod that I found metal detecting, and I'm just waiting to sell in it. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
yeah, I
there's
mean,
there's ways to make money with copper if you got the time and the means to do it.
yeah, like it's good to try. Like I wouldn't Space Miner, like what you said, I agree, but I wouldn't put a ton of money into ones you're unsure about or ones you don't know how you feel about yet. I would start small in every category.
Okay,
Personally, unless it's like I don't know if you aren't too worried and it's like stable, like the spot is stable. That's at
sure.
least what I would do.
Which in times like it has been in the past few months, it's been pretty stable. Silver now, silver has gold. It's
Yeah,
been up and away.
yeah. I'm looking at right now. Um, for the past week. I mean, it had a little drop, but it wasn't like too crazy.
No,
It's coming back up. It's climbing back to what it was.
yeah.
And looking at over the course of a month, it's rising, rising. Same with
Well, you
3
just wait.
months.
I don't know if anybody here is on Instagram and follows anybody that does much of precious metals talks on YouTube, but you just wait till it falls back below 2,500 and buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dips. All you're going to hear on Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's like I feel like whenever there's even like a slight thing, someone is saying buy the dip, and
Yep,
it's like I mean I guess, but you
yep.
know,
And again, major part of anybody starting out or is into precious metals is number one, make yourself a budget. Number two, you got to have somewhere secure to store it. And number three, you got to have an out plan. Those are three things that you need to have done before you even go buy that first ounce of silver, 10-ounce bar, 10th ounce of gold, gold coin, 1 ounce gold, whatever. Is those three things are major.
oh yeah, I 100% agree. Budget is a big thing too, because I'll see like some people have a ton and like they've
Yeah.
left no money for anything else, and they just put it all into that, which is fine if you have money left over, but is not okay if
Yeah.
you don't, because
I
if it
mean,
crashes, you're in trouble.
well, and that's true. It's true, but if they stuck to their budget, if that was their budget and it crashes, now next month they can accumulate more metals because it's less money. Like everybody's budget right now has to be pretty tight because with with everything up, gold's up, silver's up, gas prices are up, the
Oh yeah,
price of milk's up, the price of, I mean, you go to a grocery store, you can't buy the same thing you could with $300 years ago.
yeah. I
And
work in a grocery store, and it's crazy. Like there
yeah,
was like a normal box of Cheerios, like your standard. It was like $5. It was insane.
so I was in Chicago 2 weeks ago for that coin show, and we stayed close to O'Hara Airport, actually a little too close, and don't I didn't like that too much. But I was on empty, I mean pretty close when I was driving home, right? And I pulled up to the gas station. It was $5.05 a gallon. And my
Oh
jaw dropped. And I looked at my wife and I said, I am not filling this car up at $5.05 a gallon. We drive a Yukon. So it's a big tank. And I put in like 25 bucks and we went cruising down the road. and I saw a sign. I said, "Did you just see that sign?" She says, "I think so." It said gas $3.10. Now, when I left Michigan to drive to Chicago, gas was $3.48 where I filled up and left. I said, I've never seen it that cheap in this long. And I pull off the expressway, some this little rinky dink gas station, filled my car up, and away I went. Got back to Michigan. It was like $3.56. And then today, so I also drive a motorcycle, right? I've got a Harley Davidson. I was going to park my work truck and I saw two motorcycles at the same gas pump. And if you drive a motorcycle or know anything about motorcycles, they take premium fuel. And I said, I got to hurry up and get back there because most gas stations, when you shut the pump off, a little bit of fuel stays in that hose, right? So you
Oh,
don't want to run that 87 through your motorcycle because it just makes it run crappy. So I parked my work truck, got on my bike, drove back to the gas station, and filled mine up. And it made me think about this. Is why I'm rambling. Is I paid $4.54 for 93 or 94 octane, and that was still 50 cents cheaper than 87 was in Chicago. That was insane.
I mean, I guess they know people are gonna stop, so it's like,
So, yeah, I mean, everybody's budget's a little bit tighter, and maybe they're not accumulating as much metals because if you stick to a budget, you're going to continue to accumulate. It's just how much more or how much less.
yeah, I don't like ever buy a lot of a time. I might like buy 1 or 2 ounces max at a
Yeah,
time.
and you're young, which is still great. You're doing more than most young people, even your age or younger, even know about it. So you're on the right track for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
When we
And
see Space Mariner says, when we see gold price going up, it's not your USD winning, it's your green paper losing.
sure, sure. People are scared. You run to precious metals with your money. That's the way the world turns, and it's always going to be that way. And it doesn't matter if it's a cryptocurrency or anything like that. If they pull the money out of that, they're putting it into gold.
Yeah, I never really like got into crypto, personally.
I
Also, I don't
buy
really know how, so
Yeah, it gets goofy if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, it takes a lot to learn about it. I've tried over years and years and years and still don't know everything about it. So I keep it simple, and every week just I deposit money into Bitcoin account that I have through like Coinbase or something. So it's just something I don't think about every week on payday. It comes out of my account and there it is. So it's
yeah.
there. It's going to, I believe, become something used somehow, some way, somewhere, and it's not going to hurt to have some. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I know people are already buying and selling stuff with it,
Yes, there's
so
gas stations that are going to start accepting it. Um, Apple, I mean, it's going to become part of Apple Pay somehow. I've read an article came across my phone.
hmm, I didn't know that. So I
Yeah,
guess it's soon. I feel like next 10 years it's gonna be mainstream.
sure it is. And it's not something they can roll out overnight. And this has been going on for many years already.
Yeah,
And I remember myself when Bitcoin was 800, 500, 1,000, said, yeah, I don't trust none of this stuff. And now I'm kicking myself in the rear end because just imagine what that could be today. But
yep.
no sense kicking myself because it ain't worth it.
I mean, yeah. It still I'm even skeptical because it's just so like
And it
odd.
is. It is. It definitely is. And that's why it's money that I would piss away doing something else. So
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to put into something,
yeah.
instead of wasting it. So that's always good.
Yeah, man. Well, good chat, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I
he
can.
can you can my so I can't join the chat because for some reason it's not sending me an email. I use StreamYard too, which is odd. Um So if you want to drop it in, you can. If not, maybe he can add it to the description of the video for sure.
In the description, Space Miner,
Say
but I
what?
will send it in the chat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, but it is in the description as well.
Okay, cool. There it is in the chat. All right. Well, I appreciate that, man. And I don't know. Just give me a shout on Instagram if you ever want to do this again.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably have to wait because I don't know until like
Thank you.
the like we'll see what happens with these prices in the future. Then we could probably do something.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
You just let me know.
yeah. All right. So this was a nice chat. We did some, discussing some precious metals, bullion, and thank you, Space Miner, for jumping in here, saying hi.
Yeah, much appreciated.
And I think that will do it. So thank you guys for watching this stream. I put Pauly's link in the chat, and it's also in the description if you want to go follow him. So if
Sounds
you,
good. Thanks, everybody.
all right, see you guys.